essay, so kind of repurposing it. It's about modern philosophy. The role of philosophy in the 20th century has changed into one in which philosophy must find a place for itself. Philosophy as a discipline is always either escaping murder or rising again from it like an intellectual revenant. Existentialism took up the mantle of virtue. Hardly was man free when he created new chains. Virtue dies but is born ever again. Camus. Conquer yourself rather than the world. Descartes. Virtue is the unstated emphasis of existentialism. Rorty says that the role of usher and judge is too big for philosophy, and Habermas says it must withdraw from this. He does not believe philosophy can be the arbiter of the sciences. Rorty would say that existentialism is reactive when it makes you do anything other than think. Wittgenstein came to see philosophy as therapy. The emphasis in Rorty's work on the edification statement was strong. Rorty says science has no superiority. For him, existentialism is reactive. Descartes may have been an axiological possibility in nothingness, may have seen an axiological possibility in nothingness. Existentialism looks like a philosophy of despair. It reacts to things discovered in the sciences. The salvation of free will was made possible by a notion of freedom so vast that it would seek to make every man a Spartacus in opposition to determinism. It was the task of existentialism to free man from his chains, even if they are chains fashioned by humanity itself. It made man the sum of his choice and his only duty action. In the world that was freeing itself from duty, Sartre raised a new one, that of being authentic. There was no reality except in action, and this action mattered more than any justification. An Augustinian fashion sought to give humanity freedom and the responsibility that came with that freedom across social structures in various societies. In the world where philosophy had no moral justification, it invented a revolutionary lexicon of deontological ethics. Philosophy just makes us feel better about being alive, a far cry from the handmaiden of absolute certitude with the thrice-lettered title God and the Queen of Sciences. The attempts by Russell to make philosophy the logical arbiter of scientific truth were like grasping at straws. Metaphysics, as typically conceived of, became the domain of physics. Psychology took up the task of describing the action of the human senses. Philosophers attempted to proclaim the logic of certain scientific ideas or study linguistics. The analytical and continental divide opened when analytic philosophy sought to reform the entire field by focusing it on logic and tautological methods. It is always possible to bridge traditions and thus bridge the analytic continental divide. W.V.O. Quine attempted this in his work. He sought to undermine the distinction made between analytic and synthetic statements. He was against the radical reductionism of the analytic tradition. The opposition to definite meaning was an attack on the tautological assumptions of the analytic tradition. Physical concepts were innocent because they should not be violated of their basic use, and they should not be interrogated. The business of finding truth by epistemology in the traditional form is declared dead at the scene. Empirical psychology has to take the place of normative justifications. Quine defined the idea of doctrinal studies being those concerned with truth. He broadly outlines his position as the following. Epistemology deals with the foundations of science. There were attempts to reduce math to logic, and in turn a reduction of mathematics to logic and set theory. Set theory, though, does not have the tautological truths of logic. Studies in the foundation of mathematics divide into conceptual studies dealing with meaning and doctrinal studies that seek truth. William James, or any pragmatist, whether neo-pragmatist or otherwise, would likely not turn to linguistics as the arbiter of value in the vein of the verification principle. The pragmatic theory of truth deals with benefits for those that hold it. It rests on providing real results. In the long term, it sees scientific truth as a process over time. The pragmatic theory of truth would likely find no use for the underpinnings of Quine's quest. Habermas says Kant's Transcendental is an inquiry into the a priori conditions of what makes experience possible. Analytic philosophy appropriates Kant by rejecting any claim to ultimate justification. They do not uncover cognition but declare the processes of it. What are the consequences of getting rid of the subject-object dichotomy? Very large ones. Bad faith is a subject and object dichotomy, gone wild in the realm of a deliberate, cynical deception of oneself. Dennett coins heterophenomenology and differentiates it from straight phenomenology, saying that it assumes minds are the same, that is, the cognitive aspect of the subject. He does not see all minds as capable, and defends this by saying that we see some as less capable, like the insane. So that was when I studied philosophy. That was like a 3,000 level paper. I know I chopped it up. I chopped up that paper. It's not the way it originally looked. I probably took pieces of it away, and I don't know what I did with it. I missed that subject for sure, but yeah, gotta like be employable.